All right, we are live. It says so. I hope that we're going to give everyone a few minutes to log in because we have exciting stuff to talk about. So welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here and logging in week after week. My favorite time is because I get to see everybody's name pop up as they're coming in. And I'm looking, I'm going, where are my participants here coming in? There we go.
I saw Sarah Hyde's name. Hi, Sarah.
So as always, let us know where you are coming in from. We want to be able to say hi and see how you are. Alfredo Gonzalez, he was in Tampa not that long ago. I got to see him and say hello. It's always nice when our worlds cross and we can see people in person, because that doesn't happen much anymore. Let's be honest, right? So we are super excited because today we have these 4 lovely, talented women. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me count my screens. Not a math major. We'll count that. We have 5 fabulous people from Get Your Guide that are going to talk to us a little bit more about what they're seeing, some of the data that they've collected, and whether you're an activity, an attraction, a hotel, a DMO, how you can get involved and work with them. The tour operators that are on the line, our RTOs that are on the call. We just ran through the presentation and you're going to like it. It was awesome. It's a lot of good information.
Hey, don't butter them up too much.
I was going to say no pressure, ladies, but it's going to be great, and you're really going to enjoy the information. And then after the presentation, we'll come back and I know you'll have tons of questions. So we're going to have a nice, relaxed conversation like we always do, and answer those questions while we finish up. So I think I saw Betsy Cooper put her information on the chat. So I always wanted to give a shout out to Tour Operator Land for itineraries and information, royalty-free photos. Definitely reach out to Betsy. Tour Operator Land is a great tool, whether you're a buyer or a supplier. She would love to talk to you about it. And I am, with that, I want to save as much time as possible to talk about Get Your Guide and the cool information that they have. So I believe that I'm going to turn it over to Kate, but the first thing I want everyone to do before we jump into a presentation is tell us who you are, tell us what you do at Get Your Guide. And so we know who we're talking to, and then we can jump in and learn a little bit more about the company. So I said, Kate, you're on first. So Kate, tell us about you.
Thank you, Sherry. Hi, everyone. We are so excited to be here today. So I'm Kate Semenova. I am Senior Destination Manager for Mountain West in the United States and Western Canada. And now I will pass it on to Sarah.
Hey everyone, I'm Sarah, as Kate mentioned. I am the Destination Manager for Eastern Canada and Florida. And we'll pass it along to Lauren.
Hey everybody, my name is Lauren Hillhouse. I'm the Destination Manager of Hawaii, formerly of Las Vegas. So I see some Las Vegas people in there. Hello. And I will pass it on to Tilly.
Good day, everybody. I see some familiar names popping up too from my time managing Canada East. Right now, though, I am the Senior Destination Manager for New York City, based out of our New York office. Jennifer, over to you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jennifer Lowe. I'm the Area Manager for USA West, Western Canada, working with these incredible women.
Awesome. Well, I can't thank you guys enough for being here and sharing information, but more than anything, taking time out of your day to give us some great points on how we start recovery and get through recovery and how you guys are doing it, because we can all take cues from each other. And I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, this is an industry that is tourism strong and sticks together, and we learn from each other. So I really appreciate you being here. I will tell everyone, as always, I'm going to look in that chat box and I'm going to find the questions that you ask. But it's much easier for us if you put them in the Q&A. So start logging your questions in Q&A and we will get to them as quickly as we can after the presentation. So Kate, I believe that it's all you now.
All right, thank you. I got it from here. let me just share my screen. All right, can you see my screen? Do I have hands up? Great. All right, well, once again, thank you all for having us. We're so excited to present to you and to connect with all of you. But before we will get started, we would like to get to know you a little bit. And we would like to ask you a very important question. We're taking a poll, Sherry. Would you rather have infinite chocolate or infinite coffee, or neither?
I'm still distressed that panelists can't vote.
True, we would love to vote. All right, looks like it's chocolate and coffee. All right, looks like you're all both energized and feeling very happy and enthusiastic for this presentation. So let's get started. You already know who we are. And once again, thank you for having us. Today, we will tell you a little bit about what GetYourGuide is. We will share with you some data insights. We will share with you some recovery trends in Hawaii. And also we will tell you how you can work with us, whether you are an attraction or activity provider, DMO, or a hotel. And of course, we will have lots of time to talk. So I think that you already know who GetYourGuide is, but if you don't worry. I will give you a quick and sweet overview. GetYourGuide is an online travel agency dedicated exclusively to activities, attractions, and wonderful tours all around the world. Our mission is to give the whole world access to incredible experiences, and we're doing it since 2008. We have become the global brand and global leader in that industry. Today, we feature over 60,000 activities in over 150 countries. We have sold more than 45 million tickets, and we raised over 788 million in VC funding. We have strong presence all over the world. We have 15 offices around the world, including US, New York, and San Francisco office. And today you have both of us on this call. And as destination managers, we're working with our dear partners who we see a lot on this call today as well. Thank you for joining us. And we work with our partners to help them to grow their businesses on GetYourGuide, and we're promoting their activities, attractions to our customers. And of course, we're promoting their destinations. So simply put, GetYourGuide connects travelers to incredible activities and incredible attractions in all reaches of the world. And on this, I will pass my virtual microphone to Tilly.
Thank you, Kate. Okay, I would like to kick off with my very own personal poll, if we could get that rolling, about where you are most likely to travel next. So it might take a few seconds to pop up. You have a few choices here. One, hyper local within your own home. Then we can expand from there, local, domestic being a nearby city, domestic anywhere in your home country, and then international short or long haul. A few more seconds, make your choices, cast your vote, and let's see the results. Ooh, okay. I'm liking this domestic travel within your home country. This is fantastic to see. And I'm pleased that we're all not just chilling out in our home again. It's a good sign. Let's dive into one of my favorite topics, data. I'm going to take you through the 4 W's of current trends that we're seeing and what trends our new study of US travelers helps us anticipate. Let's kick off with who. Who is the 2021 traveler? We have identified 3 main COVID personas: reluctant, willing but wary, and the eager traveler. Of these 3, we see more eager travelers this year, and the most in the US compared to other markets that we surveyed. They want and are willing to travel. They're characterized by looking for deals. They're motivated by ticking boxes when they travel and describe themselves as avid travelers. Their next trip is likely going to be to visit family, and they'll be heading out in the next 1 to 6 months. So what are they going to book and where are they going? Attractions, day trips, and cruises are among the top booked categories that we're seeing. And they're booking from Hawaii to Las Vegas, New Orleans, Atlanta, and Charleston, to name just a few. But when are they going? The last W. Well, if you missed it, there's a little bit of a hint. They're already traveling. And if we can jump to the next slide, please. Our eager vacationers are out in the world exploring and embracing experiences as safely as possible. English and Spanish so far remain the top booked tour conduction languages. And the current median group size that I have seen, at least in New York City, is 2 packs. And this has accounted for more than 50% of the bookings already made in 2021. But what about those folks that want to travel, but aren't yet? When will they? This was something we really wanted to discover, so we did a study to learn any potential barriers to travel and to better understand the levers that we could move to help boost travel confidence and help our local partners. Let's see what we learned. So the when, well, it depends. The US travelers across all regions are already thinking about travel, and you can see here on this snapshot the different mindset stages. Midwest clearly leading the way in thinking about travel, researching, and planning things to do. But on the whole, the appetite to engage in travel phases is already happening. When these people are thinking about their travel, if we pop forward to the next slide, we can see that the biggest barriers are quarantining, catching the virus, and uncertainty on what is open. And these seem to revolve around similar themes, such as ensuring safety and counterbalancing uncertainty through flexibility. For safety parameters, hygiene standards and avoiding crowds are the top 2 barriers for people who are considering a tour or an activity. If you haven't already, implement stringent hygiene measures and then make sure that they're highlighted. But beyond the safety parameters, booking flexibility was the next piece that was top of mind. Flexibility includes cancellation and rescheduling options. So aside from the external factor of quarantine, to remove barriers to travel and drive consideration, it's important to both adopt COVID safety measures and support flexible booking conditions. As a side note, if you work with us and haven't already done so, I highly encourage you to update your products to reflect health and safety displays and enable flexible cancellation. Next slide. Who are our eager travelers taking with them on their adventure? We're seeing that for planned trips in the next 12 months, 2/3 to 3/4 of travelers intend to vacation with their parents or families. Seeing friends and family and travel deals are the top triggers for travel across the US. You can cater to these travelers by offering products that fit the need for families or couples, whether it's a romantic package or a family ticket bundle. You can consider special add-ons for children and perhaps kid-friendly pricing. And the next important question is, where are these people making their bookings? Above and beyond, we're seeing that it's online. And if you recall the earlier slide about travel barriers, uncertainty on what is open was cited as a top barrier, specifically in the US market. When you add this to the fact that over 50% of all respondents said that they booked online, it's really clear that online and digital is a booking trend that's going to rise. And this is likely the result of all the health and safety concerns, as well as some of the lockdowns that have rippled throughout the country. Ensure your online presence is strong and that you have as many options as possible for potential visitors to find and book your products. This means checking that all available products are online and bookable, that your customer booking flow is completely contactless and does not require a physical exchange of tickets or money, from booking right through to admission. You could even consider implementing touchless ticketing on site to satisfy the need for visitors to limit their physical contact at ticket counters and so forth. And if we move along, we can see that across all US regions, the interest in all activities has increased. Surprise, surprise. Outdoor activities, especially for the Midwest, followed by entry to a theme park, attraction, or museum, achieve the highest interest. But overall, it is those theme parks, attractions, and museums that we're seeing the highest increase in. We know that tourists already create an idea of what they want to do before they arrive in their destination. And as we've already spoken about, our eager travelers are already doing that. They're traveling, they're booking. Start to target travelers already in the thinking, researching, and planning phase by leveraging online brand awareness channels and working with partners and affiliates to reach new audiences. We can anticipate that visitors looking for activities this year will be domestic. So consider creating new products that spark interest for local tourists who may already be familiar with your attraction, venue, or destination. This could be a limited number of special behind-the-scenes visits or one-off events. Let your imagination run wild. Call out the things about your brand or attraction that will surprise and delight domestic travelers who think they have already ticked the box. To wrap up, I am delighted to welcome 19 new North American attractions to our platform who have joined already in 2021. When domestic tourists are looking online, planning for their next trip, be it Colorado, Georgia, or Tampa, they'll have these attractions top of mind. And I would also like to give a very warm welcome to the 73 new activities peppered across the US, Canada, and Mexico that are online on GetYourGuide for the first time this year. If there's one thing that I'm keeping top of mind, it's that the past year didn't just change when and if people travel, it changed who travels, why they travel, and what they need when they get to their destination. On that note, Lauren, over to you.
Thank you, Tilly. We're now going to talk about probably one of my favorite subjects in the whole entire world, which is the Hawaiian Islands. I was lucky enough to live there, and now I'm lucky enough to manage it. And I'm going to start with a very thought-provoking poll that I need you to consider your answer very quickly, and that's, do you want to go to Hawaii? Yes or heck yes? So I'll give you a few seconds to answer. Remember, take your time. This is critical information here. And it looks like heck yes. And all of this is to say that Hawaii is not a hard sell. It's an island paradise for a reason. People are beautiful, culture is beautiful, food is delicious. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about how Hawaii not only recovered, but is now growing with Get Your Guide in 2021. So let's talk the Hawaiian Islands. Like I said, not only have the islands recovered, but they are growing on Get Your Guide, which is very, very exciting. And I'd like to share some insights about how we used the pandemic and the very, very long year that was ahead of us at that time to plan and make sure that we were ready when recovery started. Like I said, planning ahead made recovery go more smoothly. So there was a very long year, like I touched on, where nothing was happening. You guys, I don't have to explain to you what the panic and uncertainty felt like. But I can say that the partners that stayed in contact with me recovered more quickly and were in a better position to recover when travel started to return. Signups also during COVID proved to sell very quickly once they came online and travel returned. We were able to fine tune the pages and the listings, the tagging, the photos, the COVID restrictions, the health changes, everything down to almost a science, so that once customers started returning to Hawaii, looking at the listings, they were ready to go, they were ready to book, and all of the product was already ready. So Hawaii started really selling again in December over the holidays, and it was an excellent moment of not having to get ready, but just realizing we already were ready. So all the product just started flying off the digital shelves, so to speak. And another thing to point out is this is largely only with Oahu and Maui selling. So this isn't all the islands even open yet. So we're in the process of continuing to do the same thing for Kauai, for the Big Island. And I'm really excited to see where things are going to be going as we move forward, as domestic travelers, especially you Californians, start flooding over for beach vacations. And if you don't believe me, please listen to one of our partners. This is Dan from Maverick Helicopters. They operate in both Vegas, Arizona, and Hawaii, and he's going to tell you a little bit about all those Zoom calls we had all during 2020. Or not, I'm not sure you can hear the volume.
All right, sorry.
I think the one thing that I really enjoyed working with Get Your Guide was that the constant dialogue. We have multiple markets for Maverick Helicopters. We have offices in Las Vegas, the Hawaiian Islands, and Arizona, which all had different levels of opening, restrictions, talking with the team at Get Your Guide. A little shout out to Lauren and Eli. We had a plan in place. We talked, we put together different promotions that we thought might work for recovery. And those changed probably 100 times throughout the pandemic, but we talked it through. Communication has been huge. And when markets did start opening up, what we did saw is that when we were prepared, we got bookings instantly. And as it's gotten more comfortable, like Las Vegas, those bookings have been growing month by month. And that gives us a data set to look at. The constant back and forth and being able to work with my product team has been amazing. And we've seen the results in that. Hawaii as well. Hawaii didn't open until the end of December. So we had quite a long time to actually look and see what we were going to do. But again, the moment we opened up, we actually saw that we had bookings. And the Get Your Guide bookings have been growing consistently since we did reopen. I think that's a testament to planning and being ready for recovery, not being reactive to it. I think the one thing.
And I think that's a perfect segue into our next section here. I'm Sarah, and I'll be talking about how tours, activities, and attractions can work with Get Your Guide. But before we dive in, another poll. If you are an attraction activity operator, please let us know if you currently work with Get Your Guide. All right. Okay, so we have a little bit of a variety. That's nice. Like to see all the yeses there for sure. All right. So Get Your Guide works with a select group of highly rated, customer-obsessed partners that share our values. The customer is truly at the heart of everything that we do. Therefore, we make the discovery of your products easy to find for the customer through our curated marketplace. As Kate mentioned, we are in the business of giving the world access to incredible experiences. We're reaching markets and customers that you may not otherwise reach. To do this, we market your product on our website in their native language and through online marketing. Your products are also translated into 18 different languages at no additional cost, so customers can search, book, and pay in their native language. To further support the localized customer experience, we also offer customers to book in 40 different currencies. I like to joke that we pretty much take every currency except for Bitcoin, maybe one day. All foreign exchange fees are also covered by Get Your Guide. Therefore, customers using Get Your Guide have a very clear understanding of the experience prior to arrival and a seamless checkout process. One platform, multiple distribution channels. I think that really speaks for itself. Your products are not just gaining visibility on Get Your Guide's website and market platforms, but we are also pushing them through multiple third-party channels like travel agencies, airlines, online publishers, hotels, and rental car agencies. This means that you can capture travelers at every stage of their travel journey. As a partner, you gain access to over 10,000 travel companies around the world and get extra layer of distribution at no additional cost. I know Tilly touched on this as well, but just really something to keep in mind is that mobile bookings are on the rise and were already on the rise prior to COVID. COVID has simply accelerated that growth tremendously. It's important to position yourselves in the best way possible to capture these bookings. Through the partnership, you also gain access to 350 care representatives who provide round-the-clock customer service in English, German, French, Italian, and Spanish. And overall, you have much to gain from this partnership with us. Even prior to a sale taking place, these resources here are working in the background and getting things started. There's no cost until a sale actually happens. More simply put, the customer walking through your door is your direct return on investment. Being that Get Your Guide has put more resources than ever into the recovery of our partners, this is the time to invest. To Lauren's point as well, in 2020, many of our partners that signed up during this time saw incredible success and immediate growth. So if you're looking for a sign to know that now's the time, I think this is it. Your brand's in good hands, so let us create a seamless experience and remove all barriers. And I'll pass back on to Kate here, but just so you guys see, this is a very easy way to sign up. Feel free to take a screenshot. We'll also communicate this to you as well later. It really takes less than 5 minutes to register. And the portal is very user-friendly and allows you to feel comfortable loading your content and images. On to Kate.
Thank you, Sarah. All right, so now you know how attractions and activities can work with GetYourGuide, and I will share with you how other industry partners can also work with us. You already know that GetYourGuide promotes and sells thousands of wonderful activities all around the world. Just in North America, we feature over 12,000 activities, and you can also offer these activities to your customers by joining our affiliate program. So let's take a quick temperature check and see how familiar are you with an affiliate program? And the results coming in. Great. Thank you so much for sharing. And I will share with you how GetYourGuide affiliate program works. So by joining our large network of affiliate partnerships, you can also support your destination and tell your customers what to do next in your city or in your destination. Even more, you can tell your customers what to do in nearby destination, supporting our industry recovery. By working with us, you will add value to your customers. You will also gain incremental revenue for every single transaction at no additional cost at minimum efforts. I would like to point out that this program is not limited to destination marketing organizations or hotels only. Whether you are a car rental service, a travel influencer, a blogger, a visitor bureau, you can join us and work with us. We have lots of partners of all kinds and all shapes. And if you have customers and you would like to promote activities and destinations, we would love to have you. So how it works? We have easy to implement very simple integrations, either widgets or deep links or banners that you can add to your existing content, to your websites, to your articles, to your emails, pre-trip or post-trip. And those links will push customers to GetYourGuide landing pages. We can also do customized landing pages. Here you see an example of our landing page with Kayak. We can exclude certain products, and you can pick to feature either one destination or several destinations. So if this sounds interesting to you, please join us. We would love to have you. Again, this is a sign. If you would like to take a screenshot, go for it. And we would love to have you and work together towards fast and successful recovery of our industry. And on this note, I would like to thank you. We would like to thank you for your time, for your attention, and we hope that information that we shared today was useful and interesting. Thank you, and love where you're going.
Well done. That was even like smoother than the practice. You guys did a great job. So I love the information. Answer a couple of quick questions that we've seen coming in. Yes, the slides will be available. We're going to have them in the follow-up that we send out to everyone that's been on the call. And we are obviously recording the webinar like we've done in previous webinars. It's available at our website, connecttravel.com / I always get those wrong, so I have to actually act it out, /webinars. And we upload it to our YouTube site as well. And if all of that fails, just email me and I will send you the link. It's as easy as that. As questions are coming in, please use the Q&A and we're going to get to those as soon as possible. And very quickly, one of the questions that came in from Katrine wants to upload some things. I think she got a message that you were doing improvements to the site. All of those improvements are done. So uploads for new product, working well on the site now, moving forward that way. I see everyone moving their head, but is that a yes? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That was in part due to some of the requirements with our 2020 planning. And so that's all been opened up as of Tuesday, to my knowledge. So if you're having trouble still, please reach out to us or our fabulous support team. We're always willing to be available to help you out.
Beautiful. So one of the questions that I have that I'll just kind of kick everything off with is, you talked about updating health and safety guidelines for individual products, for activities. Are you as a company requiring any specifics or any guidelines that you want your partners to follow?
I can answer that one. We don't require any specific requirements for safety measures, but we have an optional drop-down list of what we discovered most of attractions and activities doing. Either they require masks or waivers. So we just give an opportunity for our partners to tell our customers what they're doing, because we know that that's important to the customers.
Perfect. And we talked about, and thank you for that. We talked about DMOs, we talked about hotels, activities, and attractions. Are you doing anything with restaurants?
I guess not a lot, but I guess it's never late to start something new. So if someone has an idea, please reach out. We would love to talk to you.
Yeah, and just to kind of piggyback on that, Kate, I know Pascal, I know you're in here. We loaded an outdoor dining product, you know, at her location in Quebec City. And while it is part of a bigger attraction, it did extremely well over the summer. And I know that's something that's very attractive, is, you know, that outdoor dining experience. So just something to keep in mind as well.
There's also evening tours in Vegas that operate with some success. So if you've got an idea, reach out, like Kate said.
No, I love that. So it's not just like a standalone restaurant. It's any of your partners that have a restaurant within it, they can load that as one of their products.
It's possible. It would definitely, I think you would want to strategize and have a conversation. So definitely reach out, and we take it on a case-by-case basis.
Just to add on this, if it's part of an experience, how to experience a destination, then for sure. If it's just a local restaurant, we probably would love to promote, but it probably would not be the best fit of what we offering to our customers.
So we have some questions on pricing and commission. If you want to take those on a case-by-case scenario and email someone back and ask them that, totally good with that. If you'd like to tackle those questions, you guys can see in Q&A and type them out. I'm gonna let you be the owner of that. But one of the quick ones I think we can answer is it different tiered pricing and commission structures based on, you know, company or partner?
Yeah, I think I can take that one. It's really relative to the partner that we're working with. So something that I think all of us can agree on here is that we do like to take the time to really sit down and have a conversation about your individual business and what makes the most sense for, you know, the experience and, you know, your operations as well. So it's very hard to kind of put that in a box because it is very, very different across the board. So again, you know, very happy to talk to anyone that's interested about that in the respective regions.
Perfect. Pamela is curious to know how you're dealing with logistical requirements that vendors and partners now have to require booking. And I know, I mean, you can only upload so much, and you can only upload so many requirements that you have to come in, whether it be tiered entry, timed entry, things like that. So how are you dealing with all of those logistical things that are going on right now as a basis of COVID?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I think that goes back to also with Lauren, just really being proactive, kind of understanding, you know, what are those constraints? What are your capacities that you're dealing with? It varies across state right now. So how can we work together? Is it being connected through an SRS system, so a booking engine with an API to really make sure that we're feasible operationally? But if that's not the option, how can we be more creative and really work with GetYourGuide's flexible platform, and I'm not just saying that, it actually really is, to work different ways to be able to accept bookings on your behalf and supplement your business, but still making sure that we're following your guidelines and that it's operationally feasible. So there's so many different ways we can do that, whether it's creating times on GetYourGuide, setting capacities, and those are all trials that we can continuously change and work with as things progress over time.
Love that. So question from Leslie, who's been a panelist on our webinars before. She is curious as to booking online experiences or only in-person experiences. That might be one of the creative things we're talking about. Yeah, a lot of things are online now. Yeah.
I'm happy to jump in on this one. So I'm presuming, Leslie, that you're speaking about virtual experiences. And I know that these became a very hot topic in 2020. We did trial it and we saw some mixed success. So overall, the best way to work with us is to focus on a physical, tangible, IRL in real life experience, because that is what the platform is set up to do. As we've said, and I'm going to sound like a parrot echoing everybody else here. If you do have an idea that you think will really work and you've got some data or some insights to back that up, reach out, let's have a conversation and make sure that we're poised to take advantage of any opportunity that you see.
So I love how creative you guys are, right? And I love how you've taken the time to really look at what works, what doesn't work, and you're taking everybody individually and their individual experiences. So knowing that you had visitors in 2020, knowing that you're kicking it off right and having clients that are traveling in 2021, what are some of the marketing tactics that have worked best for you? When have you seen some of those spikes in not only researching, but booking?
That is a fabulous question. And I think the tricky part is that the panel you have today, we are all your fabulous yet humble destination managers. So we're working largely with the local supply partners directly. So in short, with them, the levers that we have to optimize our product setup, as we've already touched on, making sure that your products can be booked right up to the last minute. And with respect to the more marketing piece, that is something I will have to defer to our marketing team, who unfortunately, given that they're based in Berlin, weren't able to join the call at this time.
No worries, but we'll get that question answered for you, and we'll do it in the takeaways that we send out. So we'll be able to have that for everyone. And James has a great question. He's asking about local tour guides and how they might get on your roster as a local option. And with those tour guides, do you do anything like that? One, and how would they register? Would they register the tours that they do or that they're available?
You want me to answer that? Okay. So we mostly work with businesses. We do require that all businesses that join GetYourGuide have a business certificate, certificate of insurance, and that just protects all of our customers as well as your business and our marketplace. So if you are a local tour guide looking to, guide and work with GetYourGuide, I would recommend you reach out to the owner of the local tour business and see if they would be interested in getting on GetYourGuide so we can promote your experiences.
Love it. And this may be a question for marketing that we need to get back to Bob on. But he mentioned that you have an increase in mobile bookings, which he loves. But are you doing anything specific in your marketing mix to maximize that?
I can jump on this one. So this is the trend that we're seeing. I think we actually haven't changed our pitch, if you will, to the customer. Since the beginning, GetYourGuide has seen the opportunity for the online space. We've seen the transition of customers, their behavior about how they're booking everything, not just in the travel industry. And we optimized our setup for that. So we have our desktop site, which performs quite well, but we've optimized our mobile website as well to make it simple and easy for people to book. We've also created a mobile app. That's, again, very functional. So in terms of marketing, there hasn't been a specific switch. One of the small things that we did try, though, when we partnered up with the 9/11 Museum earlier this year, was highlighting that people could book the 9/11 Museum through their mobile or on their mobile app. And we did see that those performed quite well. So if anything, we haven't really broken out any new and sparkly plans, but we've just been iterating on what works very well for us, which is optimizing for visibility and conversion on mobile platforms.
Yeah, and I will jump in here as well from a product standpoint. I mean, when we're talking about marketing, that's only one piece of the entire puzzle. For Get Your Guide, we've made a huge emphasis on improving our product over the last 12 months. And this includes improving our mobile app technology, our mobile online booking through desktop as well. And so this includes things like, you know, creating a wish list through the mobile app and really helping people plan for the future. So even though some of the marketing pieces hasn't changed that much, the functionality within filtering and within how people discover new destinations has changed within the app. So.
Perfect. Taking time, making good use of 2020 to update and to add new product and to work on things. We as a company have done that as well with our lists and with Tour Operator Land. So we absolutely understand that. I want to go back to Tilly, your presentation where you talked about who was traveling and where they were traveling to. And if you could just kind of highlight quickly again, you know, I think you said that traveling in pairs, and I saw outdoor activities, but those outdoor activities were really certain regions that you saw that tick up, that people were looking for that, because that's a general question that we get across the board. Is our clients looking for more tertiary areas, secondary, more rural cities, you know, kind of what the top ones are there?
Happy to clarify. So for the image that you saw in the presentation, that was about how folks in those areas, what activities they were looking for the most. So I'll clarify that data point. But to answer your broader question about kind of the destinations that we're seeing being booked and that are in demand, we're seeing really interesting ones pop up, as you said, things that perhaps weren't top of mind, that are a little bit more out of the way. And what we've also found, another data point that I didn't include in this presentation, but that we did learn from the study, was that the #1 mode of transportation is driving. So I think customers are going to be thinking especially about how can they get there? Can they get there by car? And then what are they going to do when they arrive in this perhaps more out of the way location?
And I love that. In past webinars that we've had, we've talked about the drive trip and marketing to the drive trip specifically. You know, when everyone always considered that drive market being 4 hours, and now moving into 2021, that drive market can be as long as 8 hours or more, because of the domestic travel that we're seeing and the uptick for that. So I think that's something to keep in mind when you're working with Get Your Guide and you're working with the product that you're offering, is to make sure, you know, you have that drivable product there. Some of those interesting destinations that you were talking, I'm going to put you on the spot. So I'll just say it up front. I'm going to put you on the spot. Some of the interesting destinations that you weren't seeing before, can you share what those were?
Yeah, Kate, I feel like this is all you, lady.
And Tilly did that so smoothly. Yeah, of course you can put me on the spot, Kate.
Go for it. So I manage Mountain West, which includes a lot of national parks and a lot of gateways to the park. And we see, let's say in Wyoming, before we were seeing most of the customers coming from one entry point. Now we see that they're driving from all 3 states to enter the Yellowstone National Park. I know it was big before, but it was never that big on Get Your Guide, as we see that since 2020. We see, I mean, everything outdoors, everything adventure, rafting. It's so popular. And I would say that in 2021, it looks like it's going to be very popular as well.
And one of the best things that I think happened in one of our internal all hands meeting was our executives calling out Hilton Head as being a top, and they're like, where is Hilton Head? So that certainly has been a delight for us here on the team, is getting to educate our colleagues overseas about the incredible breadth of experiences and destinations that are in America that haven't, or North America, I should say, that haven't yet had a chance to shine.
It's absolutely nice to see. We did some presentations early on with other OTAs as well, that they did not specialize in just attractions though, and activities, but they were saying the same thing, that they were seeing destinations like the Outer Banks of North Carolina and beaches and the parks, you know, anything, to your point, Kate, outdoors, or had a fun outdoor activity. And I think, and I don't remember who suggested, but when you are thinking about product, and products that you have, be creative, you know, as much as you can, to look at what you're able to offer and not just the norm. And I think that's going to help everyone throughout 2021. And can you tell us anything about 22 or any inquiries you're getting? Are you seeing the same type of, I want outdoor, I want museum or attraction, maybe something smaller, maybe something more rural? Are you seeing that trend continue?
Most of what we're seeing is that the bookings that are happening now are in the shorter term, so 1 to 6 months. And I think I'm not speaking to official company data here, this is Tilly speaking. Yeah, one of the things that I've always said to my clients is, I've said, you know, that it's the Europeans out there booking 12 months in advance. So I think once we start to see the international travel resume, I think we will start to see the bookings forward in 2022. But at the moment, they're a little few and far between. And that sinks back, to the need to make sure that people have the flexibility, that if they make a booking now for a year from now, will they have the flexibility to move that around if things change?
Just to comment on that, my mom asked me yesterday if she should start booking for her trip in September. So people are looking ahead, including my mother. So just an example.
I use my mom as a guide all the time. She wants to go out to the national parks, but she wants to drive. So we live in Florida. We just killed the curve on the normal, you know, radius for how we judge a drive trip and marketing to them. So I totally get that. What are you, I mean, you obviously with the partners and the things that you're seeing, you talked about 1 to 6 months. So the windows have shortened. It's not official company data, right? So I get that it's totally your opinions for what you're seeing, and everyone else does as well. But is it closer to that 6 months? Are we seeing weekends? Are we seeing same day? You know, are we seeing, you know, really those very short windows pop up? Because we know flexibility is king. We've talked about that week after week after week, across all sections of our industry. But are you seeing, you know, that super short term, you know, 1 day trip, 2 day trips, I need to do something tomorrow or even this afternoon, or is more planning coming down the line?
That's a great question. And I'm the data queen. So I would challenge you back and say, which destination, what kind of activity is it? Because I can get real granular if you want. I don't know the result idea, but I'll pull it up. Yeah, so I think generally, I'll speak to New York City. So what I'm seeing in New York City is that the end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021, there was a lot of shorter notice bookings. So these were happening the same day, the day before, a day out. And now, and again, this is just the initial part of what I'm seeing in March, I am seeing people starting to feel a little bit more confident and booking, you know, three plus days in advance. So 3, 7, 15, even a month ahead. So it is starting to change slowly, but it is a little too early to say. And it really depends on the type of activity and where the customer is going that can influence that.
I just wanted to jump on and say we're seeing something very similar in Hawaii, but there's no one answer for it. It depends on what they're doing. Absolutely. I like to put people on the spot and ask a very broad question that they clearly need more data points for. So a couple of weeks ago, right? Maybe it was a couple of weeks ago, the UK actually provided a plan on how they were going to open. New York announced that they're dropping their quarantine starting in April. You know, we're starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel. With all of these announcements, did you see a spike in bookings or a spike in interest or inquiries?
Just that's a purely curious question from me.
Do you want me to answer that? Or
yeah, sure.
Jennifer, go, just jump in.
Yeah. So I think, we've been really closely monitoring vaccination rates and monitoring all the restrictions as they're opening up through different destinations. And what we've found is that the states that are seeing higher vaccination rates are starting to book more and booking, in advance. Here in California, we're at about a 25-30% vaccination rate. And a lot of those Californians, where are they going? To Hawaii. And Hawaii, like Lauren mentioned, we're already seeing year-over-year growth. And it's incredible because while other cities are already starting to recover, we're seeing destinations like Hawaii actually grow. And that is just a true testament to the pent-up demand and kind of what is to be in the coming month. Our cities open and more people get vaccinated.
I would also add to this some interesting data that I just discovered recently, that even domestic source market has changed comparing to 2019, 2020, and 2021. I see different travelers traveling from different states, let's say to Colorado. That's completely changing and adjusting again based on their state of vaccination in every single state, on closures, and on local policies.
How do you strategically plan when things are going like that? I know everyone's like, why are you asking me this right now? But
it makes me wonder if you heard Lauren's part of the presentation.
I can speak to that, and I think I see at least one Hawaii person in the chat, but it's a lot of what they call in Hawaii talking story, like long phone calls of, did you see Friday? Oh, well, Saturday it changed. Well, Kauai is doing this and Oahu's doing this. And it was enough to make our heads spin, but we did our best to stay on top of it. And so as things started normalizing, like you said, as we start seeing that light at the end of the tunnel, it was like, okay, it's most likely going to be this. So we're going to try this. And then also just my partners having my phone number and texting like, hey, and then we got to change it. We got to change it right now. Or this is opening, or did you notice this is happening? And so it's a lot of touch points, but I really enjoy it. That's my favorite part of the job, is being able to talk and strategize and look at things and share. And I think if you're willing to put in the effort and able to have those conversations and stay flexible and not panic every time something happens. And just know that we are flexible too, and we're willing to pivot with you. So.
And I love that Pamela just put in the Q&A, it's coconut wireless in Hawaii. And that's what you guys are doing. You're talking to each other. But to piggyback off of that, I think truly what we have learned more than anything is this has always been an industry of relationships. And we would say that, and it got to be like a very common statement. Oh, this is a relationship industry. And one thing we've learned over the past year is it really is. And the more that you interact with each other and the more that you communicate with each other is how much better you're going to recover. We've learned that we could do a lot of things virtually, and I'm not just saying this because we produce meetings, but maybe I am. Meeting in person becomes even more important moving into the rest of this year and into 2022 because of these relationships and these conversations that you're having. And especially from what I've heard from you ladies is the flexibility that you have in working with your clients and the creativity that you have with them in creating something that works, especially for their product. And I think that is a great message to take away from this is let's meet in person, let's talk in person, let's figure out, how we can get the industry moving together. And with that, I knew it was going to go fast. We only have 6 minutes left. So I want to make sure that we have a chance to hear your great inspiring insights. Pull out your crystal ball and tell me what you think we should be focused on, what you think that how you see the year wrapping up into 22, or any inspiring words of wisdom that you want to share. There's no right or wrong answer. And I'm going to put Sarah on the spot first.
Perfect. Well, kind of to your point before, I think through this whole situation that we've all had to navigate, it's highlighted more than ever that all of us have a role in this industry. And it's not stepping on each other's toes or anything like that. It's all coming together and all playing a specific role. So I'd like to really hone in on that in the years to come and in our recovery. And extra shout out to Eastern Canada and Florida. We've got this. So very excited to keep that moving.
I was waiting for the destination rivalry to start, and it started in the last 4 minutes of the call. Thanks, Sarah.
We need another hour for that one.
Yeah.
Jennifer, any words of wisdom that you want to share?
Yeah, I mean, I think just make sure that you're prepared and expect the unexpected. You know, being able to adapt and pivot your strategy based on what data you're getting in is so important. And, you know, that's something that we monitor all the time. You know, Tilly spoke about this a little bit, but, you know, when you're dead set on one strategy and you know, try to push that forward, if you're not flexing to what's changing around you, ultimately you're not going to be able to keep up with the demands that the consumers are asking for. So I would just say, you know, remain flexible, remain adaptable, and try to create a product that really is customer focused, so that, you know, that we can all recover together.
Absolutely. And, you know, Tilly, I'm coming to you next because Jennifer said your name out loud, kind of like Beetlejuice or Harry Potter, right? She spoke your name, so now you have to talk. So Tilly, what do you think?
Honestly, the thing that stuck out the most for me is how can we get great inventory and great experiences in front of people? And that all comes down to where are they looking? And that if you take away nothing from this conversation, but that you look into how you can make yourself more findable online, please, like, let that be the thing that you do, because it's really, really important that people know what they can do when they get to their destination. And if they're already booking ahead, how can you make sure that you're going to be one of the activities that they're selecting? Because it's now you're not just competing for that customer's dollar, you're actually competing for their time. If they've only got 2 days, the weekend, remember this is a domestic traveler, you want to make sure that you're the one that they pick to do.
Perfect. Love it. Lauren, Hawaii, going crazy right now. What are your words of wisdom there?
I think two-part wisdom. One is something my dad used to say to me, which is somebody has to be calm. Be calm. It's gonna be okay. I know it's bold from Hawaii to be like, they'll come back. They will. I sat for a year spinning my wheels and feeling like I was shouting into the void. And then after Christmas, all of a sudden it was like, oh, that red triangle is now a green upward pointing triangle, which is just a delight. And then also you can be as passionate and excited about your product as possible, but if you haven't pulled all the levers and fine-tooth combed it, it's not going to be findable. So just take a second, especially in this time where we all kind of have a minute, to make sure you've keyword tagged. Have you looked at trends on Google? Are you writing your listings in a way that are appealing? And just take that time, because it really does. I see the suppliers and the partners who have taken that time, who called me, who've gone over it with me, they rise to the top every single time. So it's worth pausing and really looking and putting on your traveler hat instead of your travel provider hat, and like, what is appealing? What would make me book this?
Great suggestion. Last but not least, my friend Kate, words of wisdom. What do you have for us?
Well, the only thing that I probably will just share with you, in addition to everything that we already shared with you, is that travel will come back. It will come back globally. Everyone, including myself. I cannot wait to get on a plane, even that it be the most uncomfortable seat I wanted. And that's how lots of people are feeling. Travel will come back, so be ready, be flexible, and let's work together as industry for the road on recovery.
Love that. Ladies, it is 2 o'clock. I promise not to keep you longer than that. So thank you very much for your time, for your insight, for what you've shared with us, with the data that you are collecting with your current client base. I appreciate all of it. I know everyone on the call does as well. So with that, I will remind you that we are doing an in-person meeting at the end of May in Las Vegas, your old stomping grounds there. So we will be doing RTO West and Tour West in Las Vegas at the end of May. Contact Betsy or myself. We'd love to talk to you about it. And until next week, which truly is, last week I said this was the 1-year anniversary. It's not. In addition to not being able to add, I can't read a calendar either. Next week on Thursday is the 1-year anniversary for the Staying Connected series. We're going to have some fun there. So tune back in. Everybody have a great weekend. I hope you had a great St. Patrick's Day coming from a Bailey. So have a good one, ladies. Thank you so much. I love talking with you for this hour. I appreciate you. Bye, everyone. Have a good one.
Thank you for hosting. Ciao.